Good job. I wanted to build in a joke, so we have some more time, but it's working. So we have to talk. We have to talk about the internet. Maybe you have heard of it. So there was a photograph. You have it seen. It's from 2005. The internet, beautiful, organic, even alive, yeah, and it's completely connecting people out there. Maybe it's not in the farthest corner of Mongolia and the Black Forest, but a lot of people have access to it. And most of those computers are run by free software. Maybe you have heard of it. Free software is everywhere. It's a term starting in the 1980s, and so it stood the test of time. And even if you don't know exactly what that means, but free software like GNU Linux is everywhere inside this vast, big computer network that the internet is. So behind the curtains of Google, there's a special version of Debian GNU Linux. We have Netflix using FreeBSD on a daily changing basis. The Wall Street is running by it, and even Star Wars is made entirely with GNU Linux. Interesting. So, but the free software that the software that you are using at home is mostly maybe Windows or macOS. I don't. So sometimes this is called open source. Open source, for us here, it means the same. There's a big discussion going on about the one is political, the other one not. For me, the politics are always inside, so here it's the same. So free software, as defined by the Free Software Foundation, has 4 freedoms, 4 core values that define free software. So this is the easier part to have it fast for you to understand what that means. So I go with you through those 4 terms that define free software. And because we are computer science guys, we like to count starting with 0. And free software, just to remember this, free stands here because the English language has a flaw. Free stands for freedom. Yeah? Free like in freedom, not like in free beer. So we have freedom 0, use. If you have a free software piece, a copy that you own, you can use it for any purpose. It's your choice. It's like giving a gift, receiving a gift, and it's your decision what you are doing with it. You can even throw it away. It's your copy. Yeah? So, free software, you can use it for any purpose. Freedom 1. You have the freedom to study what it does. So sometimes people are just using software and you are not in the know what really happens behind those buttons. With free software, you have the freedom and your essential right to study what it does. Therefore, you need the source code to read it and understand it. And there are people who can't understand software source code written by other authors. In this case, you can give it to someone else who can to do so. So it's still, this freedom stands here as the freedom to study the software. It's for your learning spirit. You have the freedom to share the software with anyone else. So computers are just machines for copying bits, right? So, and we have lots of copies left, right? So we call it also the software, the freedom to help your neighbor. So anyone can benefit from your piece of software. And freedom 3 is you have the freedom to improve the software so it fits your needs. So it can be improved. And this improved version can still be shared with other people. And those people who receive your software can still use it for any purpose. And they can study what you did in the first place. And they can share it too and improve it further. You get the idea. It's like standing on the shoulders of dwarfs. So it's a small checklist. You can do it with any software. If it's free software, then it can comply to those 4 points. And if not, if anyone is missing, then it's not free software. It's easy as that. But back to the internet. It looks like this, yeah? Wonderful photograph of it. It smiled in 2005. Later, it was too crowded. So, okay. Everyone in this internet can participate. For example, me. This small little box is at home where I live. And this little box does some essential services for my family and me. And it's just there on the same eye level as all the other companies or persons and individuals in this internet. But you don't have to do this at home and tinkering and learning. You can also go just use services out there in the cloud. And we, as free software people, we don't call it cloud. We call it other people's computers. Yeah? And it's your choice. You can make it really complicated and learn a lot of stuff and tinker stuff at home, or just use the service from someone else who can do it better. Or you can compete. So, for example, I take the example, maybe you have heard of it and you're not still using it. Email is one with an email account before the ad, and after the ad is the computer's name. Yeah, I use this to explain my next point. So, the first one is you can choose who you trust. There should be the home of your data. And we have that in email. So you can go to the good ones at Posteo or to Google Mail. It's your choice. These are just examples, yeah? And it's your choice, and there is the home of your email data. And if you have chosen your email provider, or just build it at home, like me, then you can choose the software that you are using to access it. Yeah? You can use K9 Mail on Android or Thunderbird on your desktop, or even Microsoft Outlook to access your mails, whatever it is. It's your choice. And still, you can reach anyone within that system. So even me over here, Ralf, using Thunderbird on the desktop to access my emails that are at home where they belong, and I can still write an email to Alice using Outlook and accessing gmail.com emails. It's still possible. That's a federated system. But there always is one, as a but. In the last years, messengers came up. And small islands appeared. And people found them useful, easy to use, but something is missing. The lines between them, right? So they are there, and I make an example, just an example, not to bash it, using WhatsApp, for example. We go through the 3 choices we had earlier with email, and we go through them with WhatsApp. This logo, I learned it. I never used this. Okay, next. So where should be your data? If you're choosing to use WhatsApp, you can't. It's somewhere in the data centers of Meta. That's kind of the Meta problem there. So, and after you had this choice not, then you can choose the app that you want to use. And there's an app called WhatsApp, the WhatsApp app. And it's only available on iOS and normal Google Android. And that's it. And you have to have a mobile phone number, which you can get in Europe mostly only by giving away your personal home address. So anonymity is gone there. So you can't choose the client, you can't choose this one, and can you reach anyone? No. Within WhatsApp, you can only reach other WhatsApp users, which is, like I've seen most of you here. But there are people outside of this. Would you like to receive pictures like this from your doctor over WhatsApp? I don't. Or to talk to your tax consultant and send some documents? I don't. So there need to be something else. And if you look at those 3 questions, it's a no, no, and no. And we talked about free software is so important, and this is a no too. If I ask you, is the internet in danger? I would say no. The internet is utterly, utterly broken. But there's hope. And just to recap, this is a network. This is not a network. Yeah, once again, yeah, this is a network. It has connections, network. And next, this is not a network, broken. Good. Okay, so we go on. I want to introduce you Matrix. Matrix is a protocol, something like the inner workings of email, just for the messaging part, for communication of machines. It's enough for us here. So, and I want to show it how that works. So in Matrix, it's just a messenger example picture. You can talk to other people. I can have a lot of phone calls with my kids and grandma, my parents, and so. It's working all that stuff. It's doing all this stuff between Slack and Signal, and it's end-to-end encrypted, blah. So, but it's there and it's working. And how does it work? And this is important. The first thing is you can choose your provider, like it was with email. You can go to matrix.org. There are millions of other users. You can even go to a small association that we founded here in the city. It's the picture in the middle. It's matrix.freiburg.social. If you trust us, also the administrators are me and Felix somewhere. You can you can say hello to us later, and if you trust us, then we can be the home of your data. Or you can, if you trust Mozilla, you can go to chat.mozilla.org and have it there. And there are thousands of other options. Next up, you can choose the app that you want to use. The big reference app is Element, the first one, the green picture, or Fluffy Chat, if you like it more fluffy, or Cine, or anything else. You can use it on a desktop, on a phone. You don't even need a phone number to use it. Yeah, so it's your choice. This choice is there again. And you can still reach anyone. So even if I'm using Element, I'm connected to Freiburg.social, I can still write to, this time it's also Alice, using Fluffy Chat at matrix.org. And we can still communicate end-to-end encrypted. Fixed. And yes, it's using entirely free software to do so. It's 4 yeses. And that made me think, that's an idea worth spreading. That's why I'm here. I hope you too. And I'll make some examples. Is anyone using this? The first one is JOP. This is the state messenger of France, so a big user base. It's the ministries of France talking to each other end-to-end encrypted. It's there since some years, and it was also followed by the messenger of our German armed forces. They are not allowed to use WhatsApp. Now we have the Bundesmessenger too, based on Matrix for our public services. Also joining are the public services of Sweden, also a country. So it's big user bases here, but you can also use it privately. Right? Now this happened just this week that Gematik is the company from our country to build stuff for the medicine sector. So they are building a messenger for real doctor-to-patient communication. It has to be secure, and they built this T1 messenger on top of Matrix. And because matrix.org is a foundation, and it's something that lives from donations, they are now a member of this foundation, so the financing is clear. So with ruling the nation with every donation, and they can all the features, and so we have it something from this. So it's using public money for public code. And we have a newcomer, the University of Freiburg. It's the last university in Germany. They are now also using Matrix. So if you have a university account, you can just go to matrix.universityfreiburg.de and you can just log in with your university login. So, is it about installing another messenger? I'm sorry. Yes, it is. And if any one of you switched the whole family from one system to the next, it's awful, painful, and all that stuff. And you can't do that alone. It's also nice to have a messenger just for you to reflect on the weekends. But it's also nice to just combine all the other people. So you can't do this alone. You need a lot of people to, how's it going? This is the numbers I collected for you from Freiburg Social, and these are, I don't know why it's linear, but it's our growth over the last year. So now we have some 600-ish users. So it's possible to have more users starting with a few, but to have the really big numbers on. Therefore, we need us all together for tomorrow. Thank you.